Tinotenda pamsoroi ngatichimbonyararai tawe pedo nekutanga hurongwa hwanhasi. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, the First Lady, Dr. Amai Auxilia Mnangagwa, Your Excellency, to take us through today's program, allow me to invite the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, who is also the Acting Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Honorable Ziyambi Ziyambi. Honorable Minister, sir.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Head of State and Government, and Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, Comrade Dr. Jaison Mnangagwa, and the First Lady, Amai Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa in absentia. Your Excellency, we have lost another gallant son of the soil, Comrade Jaison William Chezhira Chakaipa Chirinda. To start our proceedings, allow me, Your Excellency, to invite Mudzidzi Grastage Pamacheche, who is our Minister of Religion today, to lead us in prayer.
Pamsoroi, Director of Ceremony, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Jaison Mnangagwa, and Amai, the First Lady, Amai Auxilia Mnangagwa, and all protocol observed. Pandakamira pano, handina kumirira zvakawanda, ndoda kuti ndikutsanangurei kuti vachirinda tanga tichinamata navo mudzidzi. Zvino nhasi varasika muupenyu, asi vakatadzwa nezvakawanda musango nokuti is a prominent war veteran. Zvino chiratidzo chatiratidza kuti munhu wese anofa. Mwari akatoona kuti munhu kuti afe zviri nyore, rufu runoiswa mudumbu maamai, musi waunongozvarwa chete unobuda nerufu nekakadhi kako kano mazuva ako auchararama. Kana angokwana iwayo unofa. Ndo zvaita vachirinda. So the best kutsvaga ukama naye Jesu mwanakomana waMwari nokuti kumberi kwatichaenda kune dambudziko. Saka ndiri kumbira kuti munhu wese azive kuti kudenga Jesu ariko. Panyika pano ngaachinamata futi Jesu ngirozi kuti Yesu kudenga. Vanhu panyika moshedzerawo Jesu mwanakomana waMwari. Nemashoko iwaya ndinosiya ipo panapa. Munamato tichazoita kwatinoisa gamba redu. Hallelujah.
Thank you.
A member of the Chirinda family will now be given time to address mourners. Allow me, therefore, to invite Tendai Zumbunu.
Excellency, Head of State and Government, Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwean Defense Forces, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, and the First Lady, Dr. Amai A. Mnangagwa, Honorable Vice President, Comrade C.D.G.N. Chiwenga, Honorable Vice President, Comrade K.C.D. Mohadi, Chairman of ZANU-PF, and the Minister of Defense, Honorable Comrade O.C.Z. Muchinguri Kashiri, and the ministers here present. All protocols observed. It is with deep respect that I present and read the family speech on behalf of the Chirinda family. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, the ZANU-PF party, and the government for conferring the prestigious national hero status upon our beloved father, husband, sekuru, brother, uncle, and friend. Today, we gather not only to mourn the loss of a cherished family member, but also to celebrate the extraordinary life of Comrade Jaison Chirinda. His courage and commitment to our nation, he left an indelible mark on our hearts and in the history of Zimbabwe. During much of his early life, Comrade Chirinda dedicated himself to the liberation struggle. We often referred to him as our uncle in prison. Taingoti baba vedu vari kujeri. As a young man, I struggled to comprehend the magnitude of the sacrifices he made for our nation's independence. It was only later that I understood that Comrade Chirinda was not just a pillar for our family, but a beacon of hope of all of Zimbabwe. He was more than just a family member. He was an inspiration, a teacher, and instilling in us the values of patriotism and the critical role of ZANU-PF in Zimbabwe's development. For this, the Chirinda family will always be grateful. Comrade Chirinda never sought accolades or recognition. Despite his esteemed contribution to our struggle, he remained humble and grounded, believing in the power of unity and collective purpose. He taught us that true heroism is found not only on the battlefield, but also in the everyday acts of kindness and care. As we honor his memory, let us reflect on the ideals he championed: justice, equality, and the importance of standing up for each other. He was a devoted family man who cherished both his immediate and his extended family, choosing to embrace the Chirinda family, thereby tracing us back 4 generations. Right. We have got other surnames like Zumbunu, Chipokosa, or Mako. So this reflected his profound belief in the significance of family ties and identity. As we lay Comrade Jaison Chakaipa Chirinda to rest, we, the Chirinda family, commit ourselves to continuing his legacy. Will embody the values he fought for, ensuring that his dream for a better Zimbabwe lives on through each of us. Your Excellency, we are deeply honored that Comrade Chirinda has been bestowed the highest honor of national hero. We will carry his memory in our hearts, drawing strength from the love and wisdom he shared with us. As we bid our final farewell, we find solace in knowing that he is at peace, and his spirit will guide us in our pursuit of development and unity. Even during his illness, Comrade Chirinda demonstrated strength and determination until the very end. Once again, we extend our sincere gratitude to His Excellency, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, our Revolutionary Party, ZANU-PF, and the government for standing with us during his illness and in this time of grief. We believe this strong relationship with the Chirinda family will endure beyond today's burial. Jaison William Chejira Chakaipa Chirinda, we bid you farewell. Fambai zvakanaka, nzomukatami, gamba ramagamba. You will be deeply missed. Thank you. Tinotenda, siyabonga.
retired KCD Mohadi, the Minister of Defense and National Chairman of the ruling party, ZANU-PF, Comrade OCZ Muchinguri Kashiri. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Advocate J.N. Mudenda, President of the Senate, Honorable M.M. Chinomona, Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution for Harare Metropolitan Province, Honorable Charles Tavengwa, Cabinet Ministers and Council, Senator Mchane Kumalo, members of the Politburo and Central Committee of the ruling party here present, members of other political parties here present, the Chief Secretary in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Dr. Martin Rushwaya, Chairman of the Public Service Commission, Dr. Vincent Wungwe, Commander of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, General P.V. Sibanda, Service Chiefs here present, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, veterans of the liberation struggle, and senior government officials here present, the Mayor of the City of Harare, His Worship, Councillor Jacob Mafume, bereaved members of the Chirinda family, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. Your Excellency, we are gathered here to lay to rest another son of the soil, Comrade Jaison William Chejira Chakaipa Chirinda, one of the early pioneers of the liberation struggle. Having attended military training in Tanzania and China, he became one of the first military operatives against Rhodesian forces in Sinoia, now present-day Chinhoyi, working in the same group with the late Zanla commander Josiah Magama Tongogara. Indeed, the late Comrade Chirinda's rich liberation history also includes serving prison time together with you, Your Excellency, and the late national hero, Comrade William Danganda, at Kami Prison. Comrade Chirinda will forever be remembered for being a loyal, dedicated, and humble cadre who sacrificed his life for the present-day Zimbabwe. It is now my singular honor and privilege to call upon you, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, to address the mourners. Your Excellency, sir.
The Vice President and Second Secretary of ZANU-PF, General Retired Dr. Chiwenga, the Vice President and Second Secretary of ZANU-PF, Colonel Retired Mohadi, Chairman of ZANU-PF and Minister of Defense, Comrade Muchinguri Kashiri, the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Charles Tavengwa, other honorable ministers and deputy ministers who are here, the Speaker of Parliament, Advocate Mdenda, President of the Senate, Amai Chinomona, our Chief Justice, Justice Malava, the President of the National Chiefs Council, Senator Mchana Kumalo, Politburo and Central Committee members who may be here, the Chief Secretary to the President Cabinet, Dr. Martin Rushwaya, Chairman of the Public Service Commission, Dr. Ongwe is represented by Commissioner Ndiweni. Commander Zimbabwe Defense Forces, General P.V. Swanda. Service chiefs who are here with us. Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Mayor of the City of Harare, His Worship Councillor Mafume, as represented by the Deputy Mayoress, Councillor Rosemary Muronda. Veterans of the liberation struggle, senior government officials, my fellow monarchs, comrades and friends. It is with deep sense of sorrow that we gather here at this National Heroes Shrine in honor to inter a stalwart and decorated cadre of the liberation struggle, the late comrade Jaison Chirinda, whose Chiringa name was Jaison Chirinda. He passed on at the CDM Diabetic Center here in Harare on 27 October 2024 after battling with diabetes. A pioneering veteran of our struggle for independence, late National Hero Chirinda was amongst the two groups involved in the Battle of Sinoya, now Chinoi, against the settler regime. His quest to see a free and independent Zimbabwe resulted in his arrest by the Rhodesian forces and was sentenced to death. I had the honor to serve at least 10 years together in the same cells at the Kami Maximum Prison. We at one stage shared the notorious kuripo kana mukanda Harare Central Prison mukapinda mukanda left kune maroom 8 anogara vari condemned, takambosangana ikoko asi takabuda hedu. When we were waiting to be executed, but mazuva okufanga asati asvika, vaida kuti executa ndo vakatoinda. In the late national hero, we have lost a loyal, persistent, consistent, brave and disciplined veteran freedom fighter who sacrificed his youth for the liberation of our motherland, Zimbabwe. His character and personality were an embodiment of humility, sacrifice, patriotism, and a selfless sacrifice and service to his motherland. I spent 10 years with him at Kami Maximum Prison, so we know each other very well. He stands strong among the luminaries of our country, from whom the young generation must emulate. On behalf of the nation, the government of Zimbabwe, our revolutionary mass partisan PF, my family, indeed on my own behalf, I once again express my deep and heartfelt condolences to Chirinda family over this loss, my dear brother and comrade. Our prayers and sympathies are with you during this difficult period. My fellow monarchs, the late national hero Jaison Chirinda, was born on 1st September 1942. I was born on the 15th of September 1942. Sakati I share the same month. Asi angari mfupi ndandiri mrefu. So ndaizomuti ini tiri mujera shamwari. Let I respect the height. He did his primary education in Madziva Gora Primary School and later proceeded to Zambia, where he enrolled for secondary education at Chifubu Secondary School in Ndola. Conscious of how blacks were being brutalized, dispossessed of their land, and impoverished by the racist white settler colonial regime, Comrade Chirinda joined the liberation struggle in 1965 in Zambia. He proceeded to Tanzania for military training at the then Leaves Brigade. After completing his initial military training, he was sent to China for further training. When the late national hero Comrade Chirinda returned home from the People's Republic of China, he was assigned together with other cadres to undertake critical missions which marked the key milestones in the initial offensive military operations against the Rhodesian forces around 1965. In the famous Battle of Sinoia, our national hero, led by one of the groups that included our late Zanla Commander General Tongogara, whilst the second was led by Comrade Chatambudza, whose members became the legendary Shinoi 7 heroes after they perished in their encounter with the enemy in Sinoia. The Pioneer and Shinoi battle was one of the strategic and revolutionary masterstrokes which signaled the world that Zimbabweans had the resolve to execute an armed struggle for freedom, independence, sovereignty, and democracy. This further galvanized the nation for grueling sacrifices that would yield independence, albeit 14 years later. After these events, more young Zimbabwean girls and boys left the country to join the liberation struggle. Memories of the selfless sacrifice made by men, freedom fighters, and civilians who suffered at the hands of the white settler regime remain etched in our national memory. Very few now remain who were incarcerated at that time between 1964 and 1968. Their bravery and determination serve an inspiration that continues to embolden us as we defend and safeguard our country from external interference. Taking a leaf from the heroes of yesteryear, the duty is ours, the people of Zimbabwe, across all provinces and districts, to remain united, loyal, and patriotic to our country, so that we protect our independence and build our country for a better quality of life for all. Comrades and fellow mourners, the incarceration and detention of Zimbabweans for the quest of independence and self-determination was brutal. It was a brutal instrument unleashed by the colonial administration as a way to dampen our revolution. But nay, we became even more resolved. However, that was never to be. We persevered until our goal was achieved, and today we are independent. We enjoy this independence because a lot of our heroes died for this freedom, suffered for this freedom, incarcerated for this freedom we are enjoying today. In prison, the late national hero Chirinda and myself served with other cadres that included comrades Victor Mlambo, Lloyd Gundu, William Mnangagwa, Herbert Samba, Zapas Dube, and Benjamin Maka, among others, under very harsh conditions. We were subjected to harrowing, inhuman, and humanizing treatment for daring the colonial system at the time. The national hero, Comrade Chejira, also served his sentence at Kamimax from prison in Bulawayo. We spent 10 years together there. He was released from prison following the attainment of independence in 1980. Thereafter, I joined the Zimbabwe Republic Police and subsequently transferred to the Ministry of Information and Publicity. He also worked for the National Railways of Zimbabwe. At the time of his death, he was a farmer in Mashonaland Central Province. The exemplary life of the late national hero, Comrade Chirinda, demands each of us to introspect and ask ourselves what we can do to make our beloved motherland Zimbabwe more prosperous. Many of your brothers and sisters and parents suffered for this independence under the cruel Rhodesian regime. Many of our comrades died. Some were buried in massive graves, and they were forced to bury them. The colonial system was a scourge imposed on our nation by the British monarch and government, designed to dispossess us of our land and resources for their selfish benefit. Beginning in 1893, the racist colonial regime started grabbing land, livestock, and mineral resources, condemning our people to arid and infertile parts of the country. This was enabled through pieces of unjust legislation, such as the Land Apportionment Act of 1930 and the Native Land Husbandry Act, among others. These criminal settlers tormented our leadership, including King Lubengula, who was forced into exile, albeit after heroic battle encountered with the settler army led by British Army Captain Alan Wilson. Whilst Mbuyane and Sekuru Kagubi were executed by hanging for resisting colonial rule. Equally, the remains of our brave warriors such as Chief Chiwashira, Chief Chingaira, Chief Mapondera, and Chief Mashayamunbi are still held in the British museums as trophies after they were captured and they killed in horrific circumstances, and they consider themselves civilized. We remind the British government and the people that The spirits of our heroes will not rest until their remains are repatriated and interred in a dignified way back home here in Zimbabwe. Going forward, we urge the British government to return the remains of our people back to their motherland, Zimbabwe. We can give them the remains of their sister John Rhodes. We don't need them here. Last week, I launched a study initiated by the Zimbabwe National Elders Forum entitled Land Displacements: The Untold Stories of Crimes, Injustices, Trauma, and Losses Experienced by indigenous Zimbabweans during the colonial era between 1890 and 1980, a case for reparations. I applaud our elders for this great initiative that will document the suppressed and untold story of the injustices, trauma, and loss of lives, as well as livelihoods suffered at the hands of the British government and its settlers here in Zimbabwe. We demand an apology and reparations from the British government and call on them to take responsibility and not remain indifferent to the cries of Zimbabweans for justice. We shall not be silent. Despite challenges and shocks such as climate change and the global economic downturn, the Second Republic continues to rebuild, modernize, and industrialize our country, our nation. The plunder, strangulation, which we continue to be subjected to under the illegal sanctions, will never deter us from building our motherland. It is pleasing that the distribution of inputs for the 2024-2025 summer cropping season has begun, coinciding with the rains received in some parts of our country. This season presents us, household by household, village by village, and ward by ward, with an opportunity to rally all our efforts to till our God-given land as we secure household and national food security. To date, a new record on the winter wheat production is on target. The forecasted harvest underscores the resurgency of our agriculture sector as we sustain our mark as a wheat self-sufficient nation. Meanwhile, government will continue to implement measures that will continue to stabilize our currency and our economy, as well as accelerate the completion of major infrastructure projects to improve our transport system, energy, and water harvesting capacity. My dear countrymen and comrades, today, as we honor our national hero, Chirinda, who chose to take up the fight for independence even against what seemed to be a superior enemy. In this development stage of our country, we need more young boys and girls, men and women, who have the same tenacity to push the national vision forward. I remember in 1965 to 1972, we served in the same prison, at Camp Maximum Prison. with Comrade Chirinda, where we were subjected to torture, hoping that we would surrender our struggle. But that fortified us more. When we left the prison, we didn't go home, we went back to the front to fight. May the interment of one of the pioneer and veterans of the struggle inspire and help the best heroes of the next generation, be it in science, in education, economy, social services, health, engineering, infrastructure or sports, arts or culture, wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you can impact the prosperity of our motherland, Zimbabwe. We must never despise who we are as a people or look down upon ourselves or conform to the negative narratives about us being peddled by detractors. We Zimbabweans are very proud people, very resilient, humble but very hard-working people, a united and a peace-loving country, our motherland, Zimbabwe. No amount of lies and media falsehoods will ever erase this fact. The life histories of our heroes and heroines, such as our departed national hero William Jaison Chirinda, remind us to stand resolutely firm in defending Zimbabwe. I remember at the Kami Maximum Prison, when we were serving up our sentence there, and one of the wards, Mnangagwa, akada kuita msikanzwa. Mani chinda chachine hasha, chachiri chifupi so. Asina kumbo, tinambo tizi, tabona chauruka charwa mgadi. Tikari nai wao kutiparira kanai. Takasasangba. The indelible memories of Comrade Chirinda, a humble but courageous and brave cadre who cherished hard work, discipline, and loyalty, served our country with forever be honored, forever honor him. Alongside many others, of course, he took an unenvied decision to confront the white colonial regime at a time least expected, and a few to stand up against the Rhodesian government at the time. To our dearly departed hero, I say to you, my dear comrade and brother, we served together. We spent 10 years together at Kami Maximum Prison. You are a veteran of the liberation struggle. Chakaipa. Go well, son of the soil. Go well, distinguished cadre of the revolution. Zorera mrugare yamayangu. Gambare magam. Lala ngokutula qawela maqawe. May your soul rest in peace.
Wakangariko nari wakara ari baba ari baba na yo vanuya changamire ana na 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 Tira